I know I've been pushing to find DeVries, so this might seem a bit of a left turn, but void it. I'm just gonna ask. Got an old friend here on the island, the doctor who patched me up after Horizon Point. Ex-protectorate, a good man. Tracked him to Westport a short time ago, but never got up the nerve to visit. Reckon we could drop by and pay him a visit. Brief one, of course. I had some bad years on my own. Now with you here being part of a team, this might sound a mite soppy, but I feel like I could be a proper agent again. That starts with writing accounts. This friend of mine, Zebulon Tran, I let him down. And I've been chewing on that live wire for a while. Too long, maybe. Don't much help to stay mired in it, neither. I think this will help me move forward. Val tells me the same. Well, not in those exact words. Usually more like, long periods of rumination may impede one's health. This unit recommends Agent Ibarra develop a hobby. Has the agent considered soap making? After I recovered from Horizon Point, Zeb and I ran together for a spell, doing what we could to help folks in difficult spots. Fighting protectorate tyranny in small ways. Too small for Zeb, as it turned out. He was unhappy before I showed up, and after, well, all my directorate talk fired him up even more. I had my orders. I was to stay low. Couldn't let the protectorate catch wind of an Earth Directorate agent in its midst. But Zeb, he kept pushing to take more extreme action. Resistance is a mite strong. It wasn't like he was part of some greater movement. He avoided speaking out of line, but he was already spinning up discontent by the time we met. Not sure he'd see it that way. Not anymore. We worked hard, but the Protectorate's arbiters and sentinels worked harder. Often than not, our help only made targets of the folks whose lives we were trying to improve. Didn't matter what we did. Arcadia was still caught under the Protectorate's boot. Figure you say as much, but I'll admit, after 10 years in this colony, it's getting harder to argue an opposing view. Anyway, things weren't good. Zeb and I couldn't find the rhythm we had before. We were arguing every day. Eventually, cutting ties just seemed for the best. Clean like. Only later I learned Zeb hadn't given up the struggle like I assumed he would. He got to stay in mental refreshment for his trouble. That's the last I heard of him, till recent. If it weren't for Zeb, I'd be in the ground. It's a debt I never properly repaid. Plus, I don't relish his last memory of me being a vanishing act. I owe him better. And since finding you, well, a lot feels possible now that didn't before. Much appreciated, Commander. Promise, I won't be making a habit of pulling skeletons out of my closet. Westport's on the east side of the island. I tracked Zeb to somewhere on its outskirts, but never got up the nerve to visit before now. We ought to start there.
Greeting! What's on your mind? What's on your mind? An opportunity to attain my find your way to the Ministry of Accuracy. And if Trooper Sealong is still alive, do send her back here to debrief. She's still contracted to us after all.
Welcome. See anything you like? Well, if it isn't a new face in Fairfield. What I meant to say is that we now have the new improved Purple Berry Crunch. Now with 10% more flavor. Or was it crunch? Oh, no? Wait, is it customary to hand out prizes to newcomers? Apologies for the blunder. Anyway, let's try this again. Welcome to More Perfect Goods, a proud Auntie's Choice franchise. How can I improve your day? Thanks for noticing. All part of the presentation, of course. Think success, present success, be success. It'd be a mite tricky for anyone to swipe something when I'm standing right here. Nothing gets past these peepers. I've been working the store going on a few weeks now. Got promoted shortly after Auntie's Choice liberated Fairfield. Still finding my stride with all the marketing suavities, as you witnessed. Advertising's been a right struggle to get a hold of, much to my chagrin. Well, advertising is an essential part of my business. But I haven't got any new products to advertise. Just the same stock I had yesterday. And the day before that. According to the guide, in situations such as this, I'm to consult my marketing department for new copy. Except I don't have one of those either. Never made an ad of my own before. Not sure I'd even know where to start. But you seem a perspicacious sort. Maybe you can help me draft something that'll prick a customer's interest. So, what I've got here is mostly weapons and armor. Good quality, looks mighty nice. Any thoughts on how best to pretty up the mention of them? Huh. A touch forceful, don't you think? Then again, you've more experience on the other side of the counter, so you'd know best. Thanks for all your help. Now, is there anything I can do for you? Gladly. No better choice than Auntie's Choice.
Gads, the hologram's gone down.
A simple malfunction, perhaps.
An outrage is what I call it. That hologram was our flag planted in the soil of conquered lands.
And that's Good thing.
That symbol is our pride, our identity. How can you wage a war if you don't even have a logo?
I'm simply not credulous enough to accept this is where I've ended up. Doing the work of at least 3 lackeys. Or a full half-dozen automechs, all by my lonesome. I'd welcome you, would-be consumer, but we are not a retail operation. Please visit the various consumer locations around Fairfield for all your purchasing needs. I have far too many claims on my time to be able to cater to the curious at the moment. I was meant to have help, but they lacked the barest amount of gray matter it takes to keep from getting locked up by excessive corporate malfeasance. So, I'm on my own here. Breaking my back, trying to buttress all these vines on top of all my other jobs. Oh, the bits I wouldn't pay for some of those mechs the Protectorate used to work this place. So, is there anything else, or can I get back to work? Quite the setup, ain't it? Before we took Fairfield, Auntie's Choice didn't have anything like this. Every kind of plant we've got was made to thrive in a chemical vat. But the Protectorate grows all their greens the old-fashioned way, with water and soil and actual fertilizer. I can't decide if it's adorably quaint or just plain daft. Then again, they all only have one job, so they have the time to indulge in all those sorts of archaic whimsies. Damn lucky Crabble copulators. Research mostly, some wholesale, and as the base for some small batch, highly exclusive, limited edition retail runs. Though I expect word any day that the big brains in R&D will have tweaked and twisted these plants so they're better than nature. Then we push the new product on the market. And my contract says I get 0.003427% of net after development, testing, packaging, advertising, and distribution costs. So you know, this is a pretty big deal for me. Well, I've got a lot left to do and not much time left to do it in, so you can show yourself out.
In the Tossball Leagues this season.
Tossball? You mean pitchball?
I mean, offside tugs, hackers, tenders, wingers.
Ectoplasm. Wait. Nope. Just taro excrement. Ugh.
suppose it was only a matter of time until we were discovered. Though what an odd thing to die for. Apples. Is that not why you've come? Because you discovered our recent larceny at the greenhouse? How coincidental. When we've finished here, your fellows will call your death the same. The greenhouse's stolen bounty offered a healthy alternative to gorging ourselves on that vending machine poison. Alas, I was spotted on 1 or 2 forays. You must have a weak mind to have fallen prey to such dubious marketing. I bet you don't even know half of what's in what you consume. The horror of it. Starving? Hardly. We have greater stores of strength than you suppose. This hunger is a momentary distraction, nothing more. If you are conniving for some concession of weakness, you will be a long time waiting. Enough! We know what is expected of us, and we have readied ourselves to meet death in all its personas. Have you?
What the?
Advance!
You did me a big favor here. I knew someone, or something, had been absconding with food from the greenhouse, but never in a million skips would I have guessed it were stowaways. Huh. Guess I had this mystery all wrong. A small part of me was hoping... Nah, never mind. It's downright foolish. I lost a friend in the invasion. A good friend. Thought maybe all this was her trying to send me a message of some kind. Like I said, foolish. Huh. Well, she always did wrench my funny bone with her pranks. It must seem woeful of me to be carrying on in this fashion, though, don't it? Looking for signs and such. I appreciate that. Never really talked about the direction of my thoughts on this topic with no one before. Wow, it's like I'm lighter. Thank you for everything. Truly.
Commander, there is a 98.7% chance that hunting Agent DeVries will require greater amounts of ammunition than you currently possess. Ammunition can be purchased at vending machines or crafted at a workbench using materials like this collection of scrap metal and powder.
I can also help you craft items in a pinch when we're out together. Most won't even explode on you.
I got ejected from the saloon because I'm 3 sheets to the wind.
Al, watch where you're pointing that shooter of yours. You've been pitching a little unevenly.
The fastball incident of 97. Automechs are not permitted to participate in tossball games, leagues, or tournaments.
I mean your aim is off. Wouldn't want me or the good commander here catching any strays.
When attempting to capture a stray animal, approach slowly and quietly. If the animal... animal senses danger, it may grow aggressive.
You know what? Forget I said it. You're doing great.
Oh, what's this? Non-protectorate personnel just sauntering up onto my porch, free as they please. Admit I'm accustomed to a higher standard of precaution. State your purpose, outsider, or exit yon way you came. I'd actually be convinced if I were less versed in such affairs. No matter. Despite the bold display of false bravado, you lack the bluster of an Auntie's Choice spy. Excuse my circumspection. Uninvited callers have caused much of my misfortune of late. Although an intermeddling outsider like you may be just what I require. You travel freely. I'll forgo appealing to your sense of duty, as those outside the Protectorate lack such motivating principles. I presume you accept payment for services? In my role, I compile material providing special insight on other colonies. Items prohibited to others, news logs, serials, and the like. During recent troubles, unsavory elements removed certain items from my old office. Among them, a series which took considerable time to assemble. A form of manipulatory ideation disguised as popular entertainment, intended to sway the audience to their point of view, couched within just a crackingly exciting narrative. Tell me, are you familiar with Science Adventures Quarterly, featuring Commander Zane and Buddy and other sensationalistic space stories? It was a popular fiction periodical from not long ago. Each of its 10 volumes featured an exhilarating cover illustration depicting Zane and Buddy's thrilling exploits. Whether they faced automechanical industrialists or robber magnates from the Plutocrian kleptocracy, their tales remained invigorating thrill rides. The line represented a growth of the medium, from the less sophisticated 2-bit dreadful, both in style and effectiveness. Its remarkable popularity not only mirrored a rise in public sentiment against greedy corporations and tyrannical governments across colonies. The brief window surrounding the volume's release saw a marked increase in skip drone requests for Earth Directorate aid. I believe there remains much to learn from them. I'll admit, Commander Zane and Buddy's exploits make for a sensational read. They saved Carnefeller's brain, for instance. Oh, and Mammon Incorporated, of course, too. So no, I am not immune to their considerable charms, but my interests in recovering them are strictly professional, I can assure you. Ah, quite right. In fact, delightful. Once you have one of the 10 periodicals in hand, I will trade you for rarities and bits. May safety, amity, and ease be yours.
to wait, sir. On your command.
No, Jackson, don't!
Don't fret. With these boots, I can fly!
Jackson! Jackson! Twitch your broken legs if you can hear me, Jackson! Oh, law, I can't believe he jumped that way.
Sir, I know this isn't the time, but are they gonna put us to the gallows for this?
What? No. That ain't how we operate in Auntie's Choice, Liza. We might be looking at a pretty fierce demotion for losing half our workforce and getting stuck up here, though.
Demotion to fertilizer?
No. Now cease your jawing. This ain't the time. Hey, you! You down there! Would you mind checking on our fellow? Might he have survived the fall? No, wait! Please! You can't just leave us up here to die! Poor Jackson wasn't raised in the Protectorate with a mind for science, and mistakenly thought the word thrusters meant he could fly. So he jumped the opposite way, I told him. They're experimental. We'd not laid eyes on them before, but the data we found with them says they were actually designed to let people hop their way up the spire. If you activate the plasma thrusters when you're already airbound, they could give you a fair bit of extra boost. It should let you turn a quick hop into a surprisingly grand vault.
What? It's your duty as a subject to...
No, Liza, remember, you're not Protectorate anymore. So, what have we talked about? A duties only.
Discharged if the disbursement is dutifully deserving. Right. Sorry, I'm just a little flummoxed by being stranded up here.
So, bits, stranger. We'll give you bits if you get us down before we starve.
Thank the Sovereign... thank you, stranger. We are eagerly anticipating a long life utterly absent of starvation.